Hey guys, so we're back with another part of the DIY budget kitchen renovation. Today we're working on the countertops. They are old, ugly, nasty Formica. You see all of them before. First things first, you gotta make sure that you scrub them really well. Scrape off anything that won't come up. If you have any loose areas, you need to scrape them down. If you have any holes or cracks, you're going to need to fill them so that the main point is you want it to be super, super smooth. You need a smooth, even finish when you're doing epoxy on countertops. So next things after the scraping, I'm going to go ahead and sand mine down really good. Get them all nice and smooth. I'll let you guys see that and then we'll move on to the next step. The next thing I decided to do was go over my countertops with some primer paint. And this is just the primer that is for like sealing in, prevents mold and mildew and things like that. It was not in the steps when I watched most of the epoxy countertop videos, but I just figured it would be a good step since we're in a kitchen and you know the kitchen equals water, things like that. So yeah, I went ahead and did 2 coats of this primer, same primer I used on my cabinets, and now I'm using it on my countertops. I went with the stone coat epoxy system for my countertops, and I went with black. And here is my son having a little fun. You know, you might as well let the kids try to help when they want to help. And this is what it's looking like after 1 coat. I went ahead and took a light sanding little circle right there. Sanded it down before I applied the 2nd coat. In the end, I did 2 coats and then kind of touched up with a 3rd, like in certain spots, because I did sand in between the coats, and this is where we're at with it. I decided I wanted like a marble look with dark countertops. I thought maybe white, like marble, and then I wanted some gold because I already have gold accents in the kitchen. So I made little like white lightning bolt looking lines around the counter. I figured less is more, so I didn't do a lot of them. And then I kind of went over the white paint. This is just regular white cabinet paint, by the way. I went over the white paint with a wet brush just to kind of make it not look so like much of a uniform squiggly line. I don't know. To me, like I said, it looked like lightning bolts. In the end, it does end up coming out how I wanted it, but in the beginning, I was really, really scared. But I did watch a lot of videos, and this is what a lot of people did do. My brush was really, really wet, so I kind of went in with a napkin and got up some of the excess water, and then that also gave it more of like a smudged look. This is where we're at with it right now. I have some marble effect spray paint. This stuff comes out really fast and gets really messy, so be very careful. Make sure you have your areas taped off. Make sure you have plastic, everything, you know, just like when you're using the epoxy, you might as well have everything taped off because this stuff, like I said, it got everywhere. But I really love the marble effect that it gave. Super pretty. I don't think there would have been a way to replicate this. Here's the finished look, and now we're gonna get ready to make the epoxy. I got my little stirrer from Walmart for about $3, and it was able to attach it to my drill. Super easy. That made stirring this epoxy amazing. Again, I went with the Stone Coat Epoxy Countertop System just because it had the best reviews, and when I watched the videos, it seemed pretty easy to work with. You do have to put 1 part of each, and then, like I said, stir, stir, stir. When I had the stirrer with the drill, I think I stirred it about 3 to 4 minutes, making sure to get, you know, all on the sides, all on the bottom. Just be very, intentional with your stirring, because it's pretty much the most important part about this. If it's not stirred correctly, your countertops will not be even, and, won't cure properly. So again, you're just going to see me stirring a lot. I even use my little sticks just to be extra sure that I got all of that thick stuff from around the edges, and then continue to stir. I decided I wanted a lot of bling, a lot of sparkle, so I used the Diamond Dust metallic powder and just poured some in there. I did not measure because I am not a measurer. If you guys don't notice by now, I really don't measure much. I sprinkled some in there and continue to stir. I wanted to make sure that, oh, you see all those sparkles? I wanted to make sure that it was distributed really evenly throughout the mixture. And you can really see the sparkle. It's very sparkly. It's very pretty. You can already tell. Don't worry if your epoxy looks white. It does dry clear. From here on, you're just going to see me pouring it on there and spreading it around. If you want a more in-depth video of exactly how I spread it, definitely let me know. I can do that. But as far as this one, it's already getting kind of long. You'll just see me spreading it around, and I'll show you how I got it up on the backsplash. So it's already sped up a bit. I'll just let you guys watch. So now I got my brush and I'm kind of just smoothing the epoxy around the edges, just to make sure that, you know, it's a nice thick coat on the edges, because it is going to continue to drip, so it'll be a little thinner there. So I actually did this a couple of times. And you'll see me doing the same to the backsplash, just making sure that, you know, there's a nice thick layer back there. Next, I just went in with my brush and kind of just chopped it all up, chopped all over the epoxy. The epoxy is self-leveling, so doing this just kind of broke everything up and then made it all level out really evenly. So I'm going to do that. It's kind of tedious and just took a long time. I'm going to do that all over all of the countertops here. And here's what it's all looking like right now after kind of going in and swirling around the epoxy, or chopping it up, I should say, not quite swirling it around. And then comes my favorite part, and that was the heat gun. The heat gun was so satisfying, just watching the epoxy. It just kind of all levels out. It gets out any air bubbles. If you see any spots that are not leveling out by themselves, you can go over it with the heat gun. I went over the whole entire countertop. You can literally see the bubbles dissolving. You can see the like maybe milky white spots turning clear, and oh my gosh, it just starts to look so beautiful. So yes, do not skip this step. I've seen people use torches. I didn't try that. I just used the heat gun. The heat gun worked perfectly fine for me, but choose whichever one you want. But this is a step that is a must. It was my favorite step. What I did next was I took some of my already mixed epoxy, sprayed a little bit of white spray paint in it, so it was like this clear white milky color, and then I drizzled it over my little lightning bolts, my little white marble lines, and it just gave it a little bit more dimension. I kind of went over it with my brush a little bit and swirled it in, just to make it look a little bit more realistic and break up some of those harsh lines. And this was my other favorite part. Sorry if you hear my dog in the background. He's ready to go out, so I'm gonna let him out and let you guys finish watching. Okay, and finally I'm pulling out the heat gun again for the last time, just to make sure everything is nice and smooth. And of course, I'll show you the finished product so far, and make sure you subscribe for part 3 of the DIY budget kitchen renovation. Talk to you guys later. Bye.